Okay, today we're going to introduce genetics. Okay, genetics, genes, DNA, chromosomes, all that sort of thing. Okay, so a quick refresher. Any animal, including my little friend Fred here, is made up of tiny, tiny little units called cells. Okay? There are at least 10 trillion cells in a human body. Each of those cells, most of them are very similar. They have a membrane, they have a cytoplasm, they have a nucleus in the middle. Okay? If we study the nucleus further, we find that in the nucleus there are these structures called chromosomes. Okay? If we take a chromosome out under the microscope, they look a bit like X's like this. If we unravel this chromosome, unravel it, unwind it, we find it's actually incredibly tightly wound coil of material, which when you unwind it, it forms this, what's called a double helix, and this material that it's made of is called DNA. Okay, that's the material that it's made of. If you wind it up very, very tightly, you can wind it up into structures called chromosomes. It's a bit like doing this. This is a piece of fluff here. When it's open like this, it's very fluffy, it's very diffuse. And the DNA in cells is like this a lot of the time when it's being used. But when the cell comes to divide, or when things happen in the cell, it gets wound up really, really, really tightly. Okay, it's one of the most tightly coiled structures we know about, and it winds itself up and eventually forms these little cross-type structures. It forms very dense things that you can see, okay? And that's the chromosome. Okay, in the human body, all of this genetic material forms 23 different chromosomes, okay? And these are like books. They're like books, okay? Like books, or you can think of them as CDs. You can either think of them as books in a set of encyclopedias, or CDs in a box set, okay? There are 23 different types, okay? From chromosome 1 all the way through to chromosome 23, okay? But you get two sets. You get one from your mother and one from your father, okay? So in total, you have 46 actual chromosomes, okay? You should draw that one down like that. Okay, mother and father. But you get two copies of each one. So you get book, say chromosome 1, you'll get a book from your mum, and you'll get a copy from your dad. Okay? You can think, if you're looking at these books, you can think, okay, there's 23 different books. I get two of each one. Okay? The pages, the books are made, the material it's made from is DNA. That's like the paper. Okay, DNA is like the paper that it's made from. The pages are like sections of DNA, which we call a gene. Okay, that section is a gene. That might be a gene that determines what color your eyes are. Another section of it along here might be a gene for hair color. Another section here might be a gene to do with your height. And there's over 20,000 different genes. All of these different genes on these different chromosomes, all of this together forms your genome, okay? Your genome.